Good morning everybody, especially from Training Education with the 4 Majors Analysis Update for the 29th of June 2011. Hi everybody, it's Chris here. I'm just going to be going over the CTC strategy on our 4 Majors this morning. The Euro to start with, a very important one today. Guys, if you are trading today, trade very tentatively. Why? Because today we have, well, today is the day the Greek government sits down and we are going to find out if the austerity plan for the Greek government is approved by the Greek parliamentary figure. If it's not, then expect the worst. If it is, then expect the opposite. But very, very important. News apparently is meant to be out roughly afternoonish. I think they start voting around about 11 a.m. GMT, our time, European time. But we probably could hear or start seeing changes or it being shown on particular charts by 12 o'clock GMT this afternoon. So expect a lot of volatility in the markets prior to the news and after. I won't be trading until at least an hour after the news is taking place, because then we'll definitely know what the direction is. If this austerity plan is not accepted, then it's just going to send a massive ripple throughout the European economy. You're going to see not only the currency markets taking a bit of a backlash, but also the futures markets. The FTSE, the DAX, the CAC. I expect it's going to have a huge influence on the markets today, full stop. So be very wary. There's going to be a lot of speculation before and after the vote, so I wouldn't trade this pair up until at least late this afternoon going into the US session. If you want to trade, then you trade at your own risk. So as it stands now, you can see that on the chart, anyway, you can see that price is edging its way up to prior resistance and support area, where the 50 period moving averages on daily at the 14,400 mark. We've been in the past. You can see that, and we could see another hesitation at this level, and the news might be part of that hesitation. We need to see a clear break above these two prior resistance levels, so anything between where it is now at 14,400 and just below the 14,450 mark to see any progression. If we close above this area here, this consolidation area, then we'll be trading in what we expect to be cleaner air, and at least the 14,700 would be a lot easier to get to in the next couple of days, if that's possible, if that does occur. So intraday, you'll notice, however, that the CTC is in a consolidation range. We do have red arrow and the red candles, however we don't have the setup on the CTC on either side, the bands. It's just telling you confirmation. You can see that we're in a negative consolidation band. We're still finding higher highs, but we are still in an intermediate lower band swing low in terms of movement. If you look at where prices come from and where it's going to, you can see we're still in a major uptrend. Well, the fake out that we saw in early January, but you can see that price has bounced and we're trading slightly higher. However, just be aware today's news could be very, very, very pivotal, vital in where price goes from now onwards. We are in a squeeze between the major trend and prior resistance at the 14,400 mark. Intraday, you should see that on the charts. You should see the consolidation, especially on 30-minute and lower. You can see here, for example, resistance that we had. You can see this shooting star. A lot of momentum yesterday, followed by a shooting star, and we had price pull back, and then it ranged throughout the latter part of the US session going into the Asian market. This morning at 8 a.m. GMT, the European markets as well as the UK market have just gone live and you can see prices now pushing higher. The 14,400 mark, as I mentioned, is the long-term resistance area for this pair, so we could see hesitation at this band. I would look at indicators. If you do have one that can dictate convergence or divergence, notice that price will probably start to diverge as the closer we get to this level. That will just give you a heads up. It'll just confirm that there's a change in market sentiment as price is moving higher. You can see that we are swinging high nonetheless. If we go for that or that, you can see that price is still trading higher than that. This is just going to be the wicks. That's the body range at the top here, and you can see price is definitely swinging higher. However, we have this 14,400 mark as a very strong prior resistance level, and we're now getting to that. So just be aware we might see volatility creeping in. Again, there again on a 15-minute chart, you can see price moving sideways, and as I mentioned, the 14,400 mark is slow. It's not too far off now, within shouting distance, and it's going to be our major level. So price needs to be definitely trading higher than that. Ideally on an hour, you want to see a nice bullish engulfing up candle to confirm price movement moving to the upside, to confirm that all the big money is moving higher. Until that occurs, then we might see consolidation at this range here. As I mentioned, closer we get to noon, 12ish, 11 o'clock our time GMT, you'll notice we should be in this price range around here, which will take us roughly between right up to the 14,400 area. So be aware of it, guys. Very, very important. I wouldn't be trading this until I definitely see a nice bullish engulfing, especially on the 30-minute hourly candle, really pushing higher. You don't want to be faked into the market. That's what happens if you start seeing these taking place. Look, I mentioned here on a 4-hour time frame, this over here saw a lot of momentum to the upside, and then a major pullback yesterday, literally taking back almost back to the 61.8 fib retracement area. So a lot of momentum was taken down to the downside. Then it kind of plateaued out, found a bit of support, and we saw a kick higher. Long wicks on the upside showing price momentum at the top end of the candle, and you've seen pushing higher. So we don't want to be stuck in this. We don't want to be entering at the top end of this only to see that your stops have been taken out during the intraday. So rather wait for a clear break above this consolidation range here. You can see clearly that there's a consolidation range, especially on a 30-minute or hourly chart. You want to see a nice bullish engulfing, because you moment you break above that, and you're heading into this, the whipsawing. But I think if we see a clear definite break above 14,400, we could see further progression to the upside coming on the back of that. Next up is the sterling against US dollar. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. Interesting one, this one. As you can see, that we've seen the sterling lose ground against the US dollar in as many weeks, starting with a massive sell-off back in early part of June. On the 15th, we saw price really pulling away after coming unstuck on the underside of the intermediate downtrend from our highs we saw here at 16,700, and then we saw a doji shooting star type pattern after a bullish uptrend, but failing to progress any higher on that momentum, and we saw the market taking everything back the following day and closing lower on the day after, which brought it to the underside of this major trend, and we saw consolidation taking place only to the underside of the major break, failing to break higher, and we saw continuation to the downside. So this is a typical breakout, pullback, continuation pattern that we've seen in play, and we are now trading, well, it just traded slightly less than the 100% move of the initial start of this trend here at 5,900. You can see price, however, is pulling back to the underside of the 200 and failing to break above the institutional moving average. So that's also a negative signal. It needs to be trading above this level here on a daily to confirm that the bulls are back in favor. And as long as it's trading below that, then we're going to see consolidation taking place. But you're seeing here on these long wick candles. So a lot of momentum intraday, however, very stagnant when it comes to end of close. So the buyers and sellers are indecisive. It's going indecisive as we go into today's trading range. Primarily, they're still going to be very hesitant until we hear the news coming out of Europe or Eurozone relating to the Greece austerity plan measures being put forward to the Greek parliamentary figure this afternoon. So there's a lot riding on that. Obviously, sterling will to a degree move depending on what happens, because obviously if we start seeing a default, then it's going to ripple through the entire global economy, but also it'll also ripple through the UK economy, and that will definitely start showing up on the chart. So ideally, if we do get a pass today from the parliament, Greek parliament, then we're going to see this push higher, definite. If not, we're going to see price relatively stagnate around this area, and we could see a failure and a continuation to the downside. So heads up, CTC is giving us a sell signal. We should be looking for further selling opportunities on a daily time frame. Let's go into, I just want to take that figure here, where is the 200, roughly at the 160385 mark, 160385. Just want to put that in on hourly. 385. So thereabouts. That's where price needs to be trading above in order to be bullish. You can notice that the institutional moving averages are starting to curve, starting to flatten out. It's trading about all the moving averages. CTC has gone slightly more. The candle in play now, the hourly candle in play, has given us a blue on all sides as well. Just be aware that this candle has not closed yet. It needs to close. And if it closes, how far are we in terms of where the price support and resistance level? You can see that we've had a hesitation at this level over a number of days, almost a full week. So a very strong resistance level here in play. And as I mentioned, it's going to be trading well above that to be considered bullish. So be aware that we might see consolidation taking place around this area, and that will start to show the closer we get to noon this afternoon. It's only 9 AM GMT this morning. Well, it's 8 o'clock GMT now, so noonish we're going to be looking at roughly, if I'm not mistaken, around that time. So not too far off. We could be finding ourselves trading closer to that as we edge closer to the news event of the day, the austerity plan being passed on to the Greek parliament. Will we have a decision today? Next one up is the US dollar against Swiss franc. You'll notice that we've been in a downtrend for a number, well, since we saw the sellout here way back up at 1660, way back in June of last year, and since then we've seen the US dollar tank against the Swiss franc. And you can see we are very much in a major downtrend. All the moving averages above us, and the CTC is well extended into the negative. Bar a couple, 2 days in particular, that we saw back here in the early parts of December of last year. But you can see the price has been swinging lower, and recently we saw a break lower and pull back, and we saw a continuation when it failed trade higher at that pullback session. And we saw a lower swing support area being forged just below the 8350 mark for a full week almost of trading. And then we saw a bounce to the upside, fell to trade higher than a previous support and resistance level, and we saw price targeting back to the 835 mark again, and then hesitation. We saw a bounce yesterday, followed by, the day before on Monday, then down candle yesterday, but price was still hanging to the top end of the candle, and then going into the Japanese and the European session open this morning, very indecisive, trading at the underside. So we could see a bit of consolidation around this range. We want to see a bearish engulfing candle, definitely closing lower than yesterday's wick, to confirm that there's still price moving to the downside, because as you can see, we are definitely seeing swing lows in a very tight range at this level now, with moving average above us. So US dollar could be still losing a lot of favor on this ground on this pair against the US dollar, as things aren't really are unsettled both in the US as well as the Eurozone. So be aware of that. So it needs to be trading well above the prior support area. So it needs to be trading above the 835.50 in my eyes. So as long as it's ranging, intraday you'll see it ranging. So if we go to an intraday chart, you'll probably see that price has just recently been ranging, and then you can see it. So very decisive. There's a definite clear indication that we saw price support at 8335. We've seen it break lower, but notice that we have another support at 8295. This is on an hourly chart, guys. Notice how the 50 period moving average acted as a brilliant resistance level for this ceiling level, very strong on an hourly. So you can see that if price is to be bullish, it needs to be trading well above the 835 50 hours. To confirm this, it will definitely be well above all this noise going into this breakout pullback. Are we going to see a breakout, pullback, and continuation now occurring? Because we had a lower swing at a price support area, and you can see that this range, you can see these swings are lower as we got close to this major trend line on an hourly chart. Moving averages are well above price action, CTC is well extended, and we're looking to trading it just above the previous support area at the 829.50 mark. So you need to see a bounce and trade higher to see a US dollar really rallying. Otherwise, we're just going to consolidation and possibly another breakout. Okay, going to the last page today is the US dollar against Japanese yen. You see the US dollar gaining a lot of strength against the yen, which has seen it testing the 80 mark over consecutive weeks, and we've seen price bouncing at this level in the past. Fell to trade lower after a break lower. We saw consolidation yet again at this level, and just recently we saw price swing lows being broken and upside, and then price trading above a prior resistance level, which happened to be price support and resistance in the past, and finding support now above the 50, which is a good sign because the CTC is now gaining momentum. This candle now breaking higher than that is obviously confirming that we could see further progression. Upside wise on the support, a very strong support level. We've seen progression to the upside. We saw a noticeable high, swing high, major swing high here, back at the 8200 mark. So could we see another attempt of the 8200 mark in the next couple of weeks or days? Back up here, definitely. If it's trading well above this going into the next month, in July, for example, then we're going to definitely see price or the US dollar getting a lot of strength in the next couple of months. But as it stands now, we can still find support above at least the 8100 mark. As you can see, it's just trading slightly above the 8100. Find support again today, nice bullish engulfing. Then we're definitely going to see upside movement. First target would ideally be the 8150 mark, because we've had hesitation and support and resistance in this level in the past. Ultimately, 82 would be the overall target for this pair. So you've got target 1, target 2, as long as price stays above 8100 or the 8090 mark. So going into the US session, we can see price closing higher today. Above this area here, this consolidation area, at the close at 1894.100, and we could see CTC going blue in the next couple of days, and we could see further progression to the upside, failing to find support at this level here. We could see price putting it back again. We could see a fake out. We could see a long wick. That's what you probably want to see. So a breakout, you want to see consolidation. So you could see price pulling back probably, and then closing higher, and then showing you confirmation of higher swing. So we've had swing higher. We want to see another swing higher above this 1894.100 mark. Confirm further progression. If it closes lower than this area here, then you should see a failed attempt to go higher, and we're going to see price reverting back to the 80 mark. That's all for today, guys. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. As I mentioned, important news both out today as well as going into tomorrow. There's going to be 2 votes starting today on the Greek austerity bailout plan. It's been put forward to the Greek Parliamentary Board, and they've now got to approve it. If they do not find an agreement, the votes are against it, and we're going to see a major issue starting in the Eurozone. There could be there's a lot of people wanting it to be passed, but ultimately if that's passed, then you're going to find that Greece is going to have to, the austerity plan has come with measures, and those measures are going to be quite detrimental to Greece long term, it's obviously going to be a lot of strict measures that have to be followed and abide by. Are the Greek majority in favour of this austerity plan? They're going to be losing a lot of their, I suppose, dignity in some cases, but there's going to have to be some serious changes for the Greek economy, and the IMF and the EU will definitely want that to be, they want to see this plan adhered to. Otherwise, they can't keep trying to bail out a company without any return. So it depends now if the majority of the parliament, the Greek parliament, are in favour of that, or if they're not. If they're not, then obviously there's a massive downside trend that's going to ripple throughout the European market. If they approve it, is it a short-term stop measure before we see the other countries, i.e. like, let's talk that Spain is a major one, and Italy is another possible one apparently, that these start coming into effect, and it's just going to get out of hand. So it remains to be seen. Take care, have a fantastic trading day, and most importantly, trade serenely.